Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm one of your hosts, Joshua Conkle.
And I'm one of your other hosts, Drusilla Adeline. How you doing this week, Josh?
I'm good. What if we introduced like four more hosts?
And center square, we have Paul Lynde.
Oh my God, we should be so lucky. I went to a gay pool party, if you can believe it, in Palm Springs.
Guess what? I can believe it.
Well, that's actually...
Was Paul Lynde there?
No, but someone, I was there with gay horror icon Michael Verratti is who invited me, and we were in the pool kind of swimming around in our little gay floats, and then Michael says to me, "Do you know that this used to be Paul Lynde's house?" And I freaked out, and I like went in the house and looked around and was like trying to see the ghost of Paul Lynde, but no luck.
That is the most gay LA story I've ever heard.
Well,
both like I love Michael so much, as listeners may know. And I also am very well aware of Michael's Paul Lynde obsession.
Yeah.
So the idea of a gay pool party at Paul Lynde's Palm Springs house sounds like heaven.
I used to do Paul Lynde impressions when I was a little boy because he's the voice of Templeton the Rat in Charlotte's Web, which was my introduction to him.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. So
that's telling.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
I love him. There's a great YouTube video of him in the 70s doing like a local news weather report for some reason, but he's very clearly on cocaine and doesn't know how like the green screen technology of the time works, and it's such a delight.
How have I never seen that? I used to do Paul Lynde impressions all the time in college.
He's the best.
Mostly because I was very obsessed with Bye Bye Birdie.
I love Bye Bye Birdie.
I love Bye Bye Birdie so much, and everyone hates it.
No, it's
and they're
great.
wrong.
They are wrong.
It's the best. Great. And he like his I mean, Kids is one of the best songs.
Great song.
But then especially his Ed Sullivan like choral piece. Ed, I love you. Oh my God.
I was in a production of Bye Bye Birdie. I've been in two productions of Bye Bye Birdie. Both as just a random teenager, but
I mean, the like theater kid joke about Bye Bye Birdie is that you only like Bye Bye Birdie if you were in Bye Bye Birdie.
it's maybe true,
but I was never in it. I'm just like, I don't know. I've just got a Dick Van Dyke thing.
Yeah, what a charmer.
I like Dick and I like Dykes. I'm good. I'm good. It's been a week, but I'm kind of on the other side of the nonsense of it all. You know, cleaning out a lot of shit both in my house and in my head has been very necessary this week. I literally had to. So I live in a condo in Glendale. It was built in the 70s, and so like it's 2 stories, and the entire top story is like all mirrors because it was made in the 70s. Which you know, when I moved in, I was like, "Ooh, chic,
very fun. Poltergeist 3."
Yeah, exactly. However, as someone with pretty gnarly dysphoria, I had to literally like take all of the mirrors down. Like I have a wall of mirrors in my bedroom, and I had to physically take all of them down this week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'm better now, and my room is darker, which is also fun.
In a lot of witchy traditions, you know, mirrors are like pretty heavy duty. Like some cultures believe that you can lose your spirit in there, or that, you know, some cultures believe that ghosts travel between mirrors. So they're heavy duty.
Yeah. So story time really quickly, and I will try to be as economic with this as possible.
Okay.
However, I learned about the kind of witchy, supernatural, and scientific ideology behind mirrors because of this apartment I'm living in. Condo I'm living in, whatever. Because, like I said, the entire wall is like mirrors. It's like closeted doors to a closet, but the entire wall is the closet. So like, it's huge. And when I first moved in, I had a roommate in this room who has since moved out. She's the best. But we both like had beds that were facing this mirrored wall, which I have since found out People with witchy supernatural background will tell you to never do.
Yes.
And people with a scientific background will tell you to never do. For similar reasons. The witchy supernatural belief is that it can either steal your soul, or that mirrors operate as like a gateway between worlds,
right,
more or less, and can be like a big conducive thing for spirits and ghosts. And from a scientific perspective, it is a pointed way of throwing light.
Yeah.
Which is not healthy to sleep in front of an unnatural light source like that. So when my roommate and I moved in, she and I had never experienced in all of our however many years of life night terrors or sleep paralysis before. And then suddenly in this room, we started both getting sleep paralysis. Like it would be like 2 a.m. and I would be downstairs and I would hear her screaming.
Oh my gosh.
From our room, and I would come up and like calm her back down. And then I started getting it. And it was pretty freaky and awful. And then, 6 months later, she ended up moving out because she found her own place, and that was great. And we could both have our own places.
Yeah.
And when she was moving out, I was like, hey, by the way, did the sleep paralysis ever go away? And she was like, yeah, it did eventually. And I was like, okay, what did you see? And she was like, well, I thought it was you a few times, like the first time. But then every other time I realized what it was. And it was a tall, older man, a tall, older white man, very slender, very tall, very thin, standing in between our beds, looking down at me. And he would get closer to me until I would be awake looking up at him until I finally had like movement again. And then he would slither back into the mirror.
Ew.
And I was like, oh, hey, that's also exactly what I saw. So after she moved out, I moved my bed to not be facing the window. But then, 2 years later, I was living with a partner in the same room during lockdown. And I had mentioned to them in passing when we started dating that, I have seen what may be a ghost or something in my room. I don't know. Just like offhandedly. And they were like really into witchcraft and stuff like that. So it just seemed like a thing to talk about. And then in lockdown, we lived together. And then like midway through lockdown, we were like making dinner and they were just like, hey, so when you had sleep paralysis, what were you saying? And I described what I was saying. And they're like, oh, cool, got it. And I was like, why are you asking? And they're like, yeah, that's also exactly what I've been seeing lately. And I was like, you did not tell me you've been having this or been seeing this. And they're like, yeah.
When you described the person, I imagined Joey Ramone.
Oh my God. Listen, if it was Joey Ramone, this would have a different ending to the story.
Yeah.
It would end like that scene in Ghostbusters. I would get a Dan Aykroyd style ghost
or that scene in Rock and Roll High School when the Ramones are in Riff Randall's room playing whatever song that is.
Yes.
Like Dee Dee Ramone is in the bathtub.
Beautiful.
Marky's in the corner, man.
Yeah, that's Marky in the corner. Spooky shit. And so they ended up like blessing and locking my mirrors with Florida water. And it never happened again.
That's good.
I don't know. I don't really have a very strong belief in some of these things. However, I have evidentiary experience. So
well, I'll say this about it.
I don't fuck with mirrors.
My people I'm from the hollers of Eastern Kentucky, like true proper hillbillies. And that part of the country is surprisingly witchy. And they have their own branch of witchcraft that's sometimes called Appalachian folk magic or sometimes called granny magic. And there, historically, if there's a funeral, you cover all the mirrors because they believe that if a ghost were to see itself, it would get confused and not move on to heaven, basically. Now, Jews do the same thing for their shivas and their funeral rites. So how is it that two people whose cultures have not touched have come up with the same practice. You know what I mean? And it's not just them either. Lots of people have some version of this for different reasons, but it's like, how could all these cultures who didn't overlap in any way come up with the same thing? You know, it's just interesting.
Yeah, it's the amount of, I don't know, kind of coincidence in practice for for intended effect.
Yeah.
With different meaning is always fascinating to me, and that overlaps in a lot of different like supernatural and witchcraft practices, and in faiths, and in the occult. And I don't know, I find it very, very, very fascinating. And as someone who, you know, is very overtly atheist and pretty like non-believing in a lot of things, I've seen a lot of fucking weird shit in my life that I have no like rational explanations for. So I kind of just go with it.
Yeah.
Because I am of the mind that like I would like that to be true.
Yeah.
Like, being stuck in the mirror of a condo in Glendale doesn't sound like my ideal afterlife. However, afterlife sounds better than nothing. So I'll take it.
For first-time listeners, welcome to our supernatural ghost hunting cryptozoology show. No, this is Bloodhouse. This is a show where we talk about art house horror movies. You have any movies that you've seen you want to talk about? Or
I do. It's not horror, but it could be construed as art house.
Okay.
I watched a movie this week that I have only heard about for the past few years, and it's not super easy to see. It's directed by Joan Micklin Silver, who's most famous for making Hester Street or Crossing Delancey.
Crossing Delancey.
I love Crossing Delancey.
Yeah.
I love Peter Riegert. He could be my pickle man any day. But this is a movie that she made in 1979 that she then recut and retitled and re-released in 1982. And that's the only version that's available, and for good reason. It's called Chilly Scenes of Winter.
Oh, I've never even heard of it.
And Peter Riegert is in it. Gloria Graham is in it. And it stars John Hurd, aka the dad from Home Alone.
Yeah.
And the lead of Chud.
Yeah.
As a man with a dead-end job in Salt Lake City who is kind of mourning the end of a relationship that he had with a married woman 1 year previously, who was like on a break from her marriage, separated from her husband, leaving the marriage, and they started this romance and fell in love. And this movie is told a year later in the aftermath of this. And it's him dealing with, you know, these unresolved feelings for this woman and this love and affection, and just like imagining mundane conversations with her just to like get through the day and to just like, you know, put these feelings and emotions into something. And it's really, really beautiful at first until it starts getting like, are you stalking her?
Yeah.
This is getting a little, and it's because that kind of like bad timing Annie Hall kind of flashbacks into the relationship. And again, at first it's really charming, really nice, and really cute. And he's like crazy loving and crazy supportive. And then the more it goes on, the more you're kind of like, I don't think he's that great. I don't think our main character is that great. And it's all about him, about whether or not this man's love is, you know, healthy or not, and whether these are two people who can work together. And it's really beautiful, and it's really moving, and it's really funny and charming. But it's also crazy tender, and it has one of the most like gut punch lines of dialogue I've ever seen in a movie to like describe romance and to describe just like the feminine psyche in regards to dating. And it hit me in my fucking chest. And then the follow-up line is so like left field horrifying. It's like another gut punch. I had to rewind the movie 3 times to like be sure that that's what I saw. And so he has like come to her house under the guise of like trying to rent a different house from her husband. And her husband's like, oh yeah, come on in. These are the two gay guys that I met. And it's her ex-lover. And he corners her in the kitchen and is trying to like, tell her that he still loves her and leave your husband and stuff like that. And he says to her, why would you choose someone who loves you too little over someone who loves you too much? And her response is, because it makes me feel like less of a fraud.
Oh.
And then she walks out of the kitchen. And his response to that, and that line, shot me through the heart and, really, really, really affected me. And then he grabs her gently and kind of pulls her back to him and says, I want to rape you. And I was like, holy fucking shit.
Whoa.
What the fuck?
Oh my God.
But he says it really quietly and really tenderly, and it's so fucked up. But that little moment, this is kind of appropriate for the film we're going to be talking about. But
yes.
This one little moment says so much about the emotional disconnect and understanding in men and women and heterosexual relationships, and it just kneecapped me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it's so earnest and fucked up, and it's directed by Joe Silver. She wrote the script. It's based on a novel written by another woman of the same title, and it's just such a devastatingly honest portrayal of female sexuality and romantic desire and male sexuality and romantic desire, and the really poisonous and dangerous pitfalls of both. And yet it has this ending that's both, I don't know, it's it's on paper not happy ending, but is emotionally a very happy ending. I don't know.
Interesting.
It's amazing. I would love to see it on a double bill with Punch Drunk Love.
Oh, I love Punch Drunk Love.
Or 500 Days of Summer or something.
Yeah.
I loved it and really want to show it to a bunch of people. If there's ever a first date movie, guys, Chilly Scenes of Winter.
That's a great title too.
I know. The original title was Head Over Heels.
Chilly Scenes of Winter is better for how that sounds.
Yes, it is.
Head Over Heels is the name of the Go-Go's Broadway musical, which is I think that's a better property for that title.
I agree. Yeah, Chilly Scenes of Winter. Show it on your first date.
Yeah.
It's great. What have you been watching, Josh?
I watched two things. This is a study in contrasts. I mean, I've watched many things, but these are the two that I have chosen to talk about because they're the two that I liked the most. My movie club watched a movie called Birdemic, Shock and Terror.
Oh, God damn it.
Which is
15 years too late on that one, buddy.
I know, but I'd never seen it, and I feel like other people won't have seen it too. So I'm going to talk about it. It's very funny. I feel like when people say a movie is so bad it's good, often that's annoying because they're talking about Rocky Horror Picture Show or Killer Clowns or one of these movies that's actually just good. Birdemic is actually so bad that it's good. It's just a guy in San Jose who made this movie for $10,000. His cousin did the bird special effects, which are stationary cartoons.
It's little PNGs and JPEGs just being moved around by a cursor.
It is so wild. And what makes it good is that it's an earnest effort to make a movie. You know what I mean? It's not trying to be campy. It's wonderful. I loved it. Sorry, Drusilla, for being behind the times, but no one else in the movie club had seen it except for the person who brought it in. So I figured other people here might not have seen it, and it's worth watching. It's very funny. The other thing I watched that's on the opposite side of the spectrum is, believe it or not, a first-time watch for me, sort of. It's Possession from 1981.
You had never seen Possession?
Well, I kind of had, because I saw it in the early 2000s with my friend Jeff, who really loved art films, and I didn't back then. I was I only like B movies and cult movies and trash movies, and I fell asleep in it, if I'm being honest, and would wake up at key times, like the subway scene, all the spy stuff at the end. But I'm a grown man now with adult, mature tastes, and I really loved it. It was so beautiful. It reminded me of my divorce. He created it when he was coming out of a really painful divorce, and that sure as shit is exactly how a really painful divorce feels, like taken to operatic levels. It's great.
The last time that I saw it was in theaters on a date immediately after a breakup.
Yeah.
I had a panic attack.
I had tickets to see it in the theater this year when it was playing at like Los Feliz 3 or whatever. And then I decided to go away for the weekend to Idlewild with my friends instead. So I didn't get to see it.
Lovely.
And then I was putting it off because I knew that we would do it on the show someday. And I feel like we probably will still do it like year one, because how could we not?
We're definitely going to be doing it soon. Hint, 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 listeners. Get watching Possession soon.
But I couldn't wait anymore. Like, I've been putting off Teton as well because I hadn't seen that, but we did Raw. So I know that we're not going to watch Teton anytime soon for the podcast. So I'll watch that. But yeah, those are my movies of the week.
Possession. It's super beautiful. It's super stylized, super fucked up. Two things I really want to say about it before we move on and eventually talk about it as its own episode. But it stars one of my favorite German actresses ever, Margit Carstensen, who was like one of Fassbinder's muses, and she was like the lead in like all of his best movies. She was in Martha and The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant. I adore her, and she is relegated to such a small role in this, but she like steals the fucking show. She plays the mother. No, she plays
the other man's mother.
No. She plays Isabella Johnny's friend.
Oh, yes.
Who like
she's great.
Who keeps being like, where the fuck is Isabella Johnny?
Yeah.
Through a lot of the movie. She's amazing. She doesn't get a lot to do, but she...
I think her name is Margie in the movie or something?
Yeah, her name's Margie.
Yeah.
And Sam Neill pronounces it in the weirdest way possible. But it was the part was written for her. Her name's Margit Carstensen. She's amazing. She's one of the greatest actresses who've ever lived. But then additionally, the movie's underratedly hilarious.
Yes.
Like, I hate all the hipster audiences in LA who watch the subway scene and laugh at it.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like that time that I saw it in theaters most recently, people were laughing like through the majority of like
so obnoxious
through like, the meat carver scene. And I was like, you fuck off. You get out of here.
Yeah.
However, there are jokes in the movie, and my favorite one is so small, and it's such a little like, I guess like fuck you to the audience in the whole movie, because there, like you said, there is like this hint of like espionage in the background of the whole movie.
Weird, very weird touch.
And at the beginning of the film, Sam Neill's debriefing his like handlers on something, and the final like the button of that scene is a man asks, I have one more question. Does our subject still wear pink socks? And it's like, okay, that line is stupid and has nothing to do with anything, and it's just a good way of getting out of the scene. Fine. And then at the very end of the movie, after like this insane conclusion, which I'm not even going to get into, the final shot of the movie is like, the like remnants of what has just happened on this like landing of a staircase, and then all of these people are going to swarm in and go past that were involved in what just happened. And one of them, while going up the stairs, stops, lifts up his pant leg, and lifts up his pink socks, and then goes on. And you never see his face, you just see that little like leg pull, and that's the last thing in the movie. And it is such...
It's so weird.
I like to think that somewhere Alfred Hitchcock saw that and was losing his mind, laughing his ass off. That joke is for him and him alone.
That movie rules. It's great.
It's the bomb.
Shall we talk about the movie of the day?
We shall. It's very similar to Possession and Chilly Scenes of Winter somehow.
So before we get into it, just a content warning. This film does contain sexual assault in its third act. We won't be talking about it in detail, but we might mention it. And just in case you're planning on seeing the movie, now you know. So this is a movie from 2001, directed by legendary art house director Claire Denis, starring Vincent Gallo. It's Trouble Every Day.
Mr. and Mrs. Brown, Welcome to Paris, Mrs. Brown. I hope you'll enjoy your stay.
No, Dr. Semino doesn't work here anymore.
I really need to find him.
Just up and left.
His wife is sick.
Or he's sick?
He is very sick.
Now, this is an interesting one because this is a first-time watch for both of us. Drusilla, I have a feeling I know what you're going to say. How did you enjoy this movie?
Enjoy is a strong word.
How did you take this movie?
So let me preface this with two things. The first thing being, I struggle with Claire Denis.
Mm-hmm.
I love her as a person. I got to meet her when she was in LA for High Life.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like entered the theater with like an entourage of young men in leather jackets.
Ooh, that's chic.
She is so fucking cool. And I gotta like meet her and talk with her after, and she's the best. However, I have a hard time connecting with her films.
Yeah.
I've only seen a handful of them. I think this is now my third or fourth. But her pace and her kind of sparse use of audio.
Yeah.
Like not just dialogue, but like audio period. And her both cinematography and editing rhythms really don't connect with me. I have a really hard time engaging with her films, period. So I went in with that. However, on the opposite side of the spectrum, I am madly in love with Beatrice Dahl.
Oh.
She is one of my favorite human beings ever.
Is she the vampire?
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Well, okay.
She's Corey.
Yeah.
She is one of my favorite actresses of all time. I saw her first in Jim Jarmusch's Night on Earth.
I love that movie.
She's the blind woman in the cab.
Yeah, sure. I didn't connect her to that.
But she's most well known for Jean-Jacques Benet's Betty Blue. Mm-hmm. And she's right now blowing up again in Gaspar Noé's Lux Eterna. And I just I'm madly in love with her, and like the background of my phone right now is a poster of her from Betty Blue, and I've been looking at it every day being like, I want to watch another Beatrice Dahl movie soon. I love her and everything. She's the greatest. She's one of the best actresses who ever lived. I want to watch some more things with her. And then
you got your wish.
I got my wish.
Maybe you should have been more specific.
Yeah. Maybe I should have watched that lesbian movie she did a couple years ago instead. Yeah. So I went in with those things, and I was okay. The other thing I also need to mention, I've never watched a Vincent Gallo movie before.
Oh boy.
I've seen parts of The Brown Bunny, but I've never seen the whole thing.
Okay.
And not the parts that would be on
are famous.
Yeah. He is a figure that was very popular in art house and independent American and international cinema in the late 90s and into the mid 2000s.
Yes. He's since gone crazy, and we'll get into it. But
he's since gone crazy and has been accused of some pretty believable things. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But by the time that I really entered into exploring film as an art and as a medium and things to get into, was around between 2008 2010 was when I first started getting into things, and that was around the time that the world kind of was I think Vincent Gallo's a scumbag. Yeah. So it was I never saw
you never experienced him being cool.
No, never. Yeah. And I've never gotten that. I've only read him as scumbag.
Right.
And this movie does nothing to shake that perception.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed this movie a bit more than you did. And I have never seen a Claire Denis movie. Her most famous movie is probably Beau Trouvé, at least in the United States, which I haven't seen. So I didn't have any expectations. I knew that it would be slow and arty and French. Unlike you, I'm 15 years older than you. So and when I was a teenager, I was obsessed with Buffalo 66, which was written and directed and starring Vincent Gallo with Christina Ricci. He had many cool decades. First of all, he's a lot older than you think he is. I remember in the 2000s, someone saying to me, "Do you know how old Vincent Gallo is?" And then they told me, and I was like, "No fucking way." And I looked it up watching this movie. He's 40 in this movie.
Jesus.
2001, 40 years old. He was in a band with Jean-Michel Basquiat before Jean-Michel Basquiat died. He is in the legendary art house movie Downtown 81. So in the 80s, 90s, and into the 2000s, he was like a mainstay of Manhattan art culture, both as a musician, filmmaker, and artist. So he had many decades of being a cool person. And even when I watched this movie in 2022, I had to look up as I was watching it, God, what did we get mad at him for? And then I looked it up and it was like, oh, all of these reasons, all 20 of these reasons. Because I had such a long time with him as like a cool person that I was brought back to that place during this movie. And I enjoyed him in this movie. And I was like, oh, there's a reason that we're mad at him and we don't like him. And I can't remember what it was. And it's like all of these insane things that are terrible. Like he's said anti-Semitic and racist things. He is a Trumper. He may or may not there's like sexual assault accusations with him.
Yeah,
right?
There's a lot of sexual assault accusations.
He's now starring in a movie that Ben Shapiro is producing.
He's not a good dude.
Not a good guy. He's like kind of what you might call an edgelord. I think he's one of these people who doesn't have any sincerely held beliefs and just has to be a contrarian and has to be pushing buttons, and he doesn't care how he does it.
Which is why he was big in the 90s.
Yes, truly.
Yeah.
And I came of age in the 90s, and I have that aspect to my character as well. It's just it's a thing of that time. Although I'm not, a narcissist or, I don't know. I just don't have the same need for attention that a movie star does. So
you have that desire to be contrarian and be, different and on the outside and to push boundaries, but it's not like, but that's not, a cover up for a personality. That is like an aspect of her personality that then there's like a deeper humanity, personhood, and soul and character beneath that. You're a great person.
Yeah, I'm not an unkind person, and I have deeply held beliefs and ethics that are not in conflict with that sort of rebellious aspect of my personality.
The difficulty with some of the people that become popular, both like in art and media and music and film, and just in like your average everyday life and like in your hometown and things like that. The people that, that's an alluring aspect to a lot of people. It can be very cool. However, it can be very, very, very easy to be putting up that kind of, I don't want to say facade or front because that's not correct, but like to have that kind of like appearance, I'll say, or like personality, and for it to just truly have nothing behind it. And that like it's gross. And it's really, really scary. Like the worst people that I've ever met are that exact way.
Yeah, it's like Johnny Rotten being from the Sex Pistols being like a big Tory now in England, like being like a major
also a
conservative.
Trumper,
yeah, it's so shitty.
A fucking racist and a rapist. Like, I don't listen to the Sex Pistols anymore.
So Vincent Gallo is the star of this movie. That comes with all sorts of trappings. That I feel
like your enjoyment of this movie, because after watching this movie, I kind of just sat there being like, "What did I watch? Like, why did I watch what I just watched?" And I had to go and read other reviews of the film to try and see what other people were enjoying about it. And every write-up about this movie kept calling it very, very, very sexy and kept calling it so erotic and so much fun. And I was just like, I think everyone's enjoyment of this movie is based on their enjoyment of Vincent Gallo.
Yeah.
Because so much of this movie is watching Vincent Gallo masturbate or like ogle people or rub himself up against people, or he does a lot of very erotic things in the movie. I just find anything that he ever does at any time to be deeply repulsive. So
fair. I will admit that I think he's good in this movie, and part of that is my age and generation. Part of that is that he's a good actor, frankly.
Oh my God, I strongly disagree with that.
I think he's good. He's styled like a 70s kind of early 2000s meets the 70s Donald Sutherland and Don't Look Now. He's got the tie and the coat and the hair.
Yeah.
So
he reminds me in this movie, performance-wise, and I do mean this as a dig, more of Joe D'Alessandro.
Oh, yeah. I like Joe D'Alessandro.
I like Joe D'Alessandro, too.
What a beautiful man.
What a beautiful man. Oh my God, Joe D'Alessandro is so much better.
But no, he's not a good actor. He's a very wooden actor.
He's a very wooden actor, and he's got a very thick Brooklyn accent. And so when you watch something like Flesh for Frankenstein or Blood for Dracula,
like a period piece in Europe, and he's
got a period piece in Europe, and everyone has Italian and German and Polish accents, and then he comes through with the Joe D'Alessandro accent.
I'm a vampire.
Hey, Dracula. That's kind of what Vincent Gallo gave me in this movie.
Sure.
There's a lot of scenes where he has to use a lot of medical jargon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Vincent Gallo has no clue what the fuck he's saying.
Well, I'll say this. I wouldn't say that I enjoyed this movie. I wouldn't watch it again, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody unless they were like getting a master's degree in vampires and had to see every single vampire movie.
Which is a shame because my relationship with vampires. I'm basically living a master's degree in vampires.
But there are aspects and qualities of the movie that I appreciate, which we can get into. And I agree with you. I don't think that this is particularly sexual. I would call this movie anti-sexual even. Mm-hmm. I feel like the sex is not very sexy. And I feel like that's intentional. I'm not sure. But before we get any further, let me just try to give a synopsis for this.
What plot that there is.
Yes, it's very simple but also complicated to talk about, which is like a lot of the movies we discussed on the show. So Vincent Gallo plays a scientist for a pharmaceutical company who's on his honeymoon in Paris. He seems very unhappy to be married, very unhappy to be in Paris. And you very quickly discover that he's in search of a scientist or a person that he knew from his past working in Africa. Meanwhile, you're also following a young woman who's Drusilla's favorite actress, who's an unusual sort of vampire kind of thing, and her caretaker, who is a doctor, who keeps her trapped in his house along with like a full scientific laboratory. And it doesn't take long before you realize that Vincent Gallo is searching for these people, and the stories overlap from there. That's kind of it, right? I mean, is there anything more than that you would say?
I would add one other thing, which is when Vincent Gallo was first introduced, flying on a plane from the U.S. to Paris, it is very, very quickly implied that he's not well.
Yeah. He's taking a lot of pills.
He's suffering from headaches. And in his second scene, he locks himself in the airplane bathroom and starts having what is either flashbacks to something really horrible that he experienced, witnessed, or committed, or he's having fantasies and visions of something horrible and fucked up that's a desire.
Yeah.
It's not made clear which of these is true. All we know is that the blood budget was spent on this sequence.
The aesthetic of this movie is very of the time. It looks like it's shot on digital video, although I couldn't confirm that. I kept looking for it, but couldn't find a definitive answer. But
it's shot on film and video.
It looks very much like 28 Days Later, Chuck and Buck.
Inland Empire.
Yeah, it has that sort of aesthetic to it, which is not particularly filmic in the historical sense and is very much of this time, and is actually harder for me to connect to than it is for me to connect to movies from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, because it's so specific to this time.
I agree. And I have a difficulty watching movies like that for that exact reason. And like, so I struggle with something like Inland Empire, which is 3 hours of that.
Dancer in the Dark, I just tried to rewatch and I was like, oh, this looks like garbage, honestly.
Yeah, it's really tough. But Trouble Every Day uses digital in the same way that, or I guess kind of in the inverse that Spike Lee used it in Bamboozled.
Which I've never seen.
Bamboozled is great.
I love Spike Lee, I just haven't seen that.
Yeah, Bamboozled is all shot on digital mini DV until the like TV sequences of the like performance, which are then shot on 35 millimeter.
Okay.
So like the proscenium stage and the television is more real than, or more like filmic and more, you know, than the quote unquote real life stuff, which is great. In Trouble Every Day, I believe it's primarily shot on film, especially like the opening sequence with Beatrice Dahl at the like truck stop is beautiful.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of flashbacks and like kind of fantasy things. Not really fantasies. I think just explicitly flashbacks.
I think they're flashbacks.
Where it's Vincent Gallo, you know, in these medical facilities and talking with doctors and scientists and stuff like that. And they are very obviously shot on digital because they look like ass.
Yeah.
And the color grading has been pushed really far to kind of mask that.
It doesn't help, I don't think.
No. There's a scene where they just like, it gets really purple and you're like, okay.
The color shifting is very odd. The quality of that digital video of the era to me is very alienating, not just in this, but anything of the era that uses digital mini DV is just like, ugh.
I shot all of my first films on mini DV digital tape.
I mean, everyone was at that time. It was the most accessible way to make a film, and I get it. But
that's how I learned to make films, and so that's part of the reason why I have such a detachment with it. Is I immediately associate the like visual quality with it with my own shit student films. Which, of course, like I thought they were all that poorly looking because of that. So I just put them all in black and white and boosted the contrast and was like,
well,
done.
That's better. That probably helps a lot. I'm sure it would.
Well, they're all lost media now because they're all corrupted and gone. So
this movie has beautiful music by the Tindersticks. I love the theme song in the beginning. Very moody. It's almost like, reminded me sort of like a queer jazz sound, like Anthony and the Johnsons or something like that.
I was going to ask you about this because we get that opening song, but then, as I mentioned previously about Denis' use of sound, I didn't notice any other music.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it is the only music.
Because they have a very prominent credit.
Music by the Tindersticks, right?
Music by the Tindersticks. And I was like, oh, cool, a band is doing this. We're going to have great music throughout. And we got that. And then I was like, the whole movie, there's like nothing?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't...
You might be right.
I don't remember anything else.
It might just be the same song at the top and tail of the movie. But it's a good one. It's a good song.
Yeah.
This movie has the trappings of a... Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, nothing.
This movie has the thing that a lot of French art movies have. Like, if you love beautiful people walking, if you love beautiful people laying in bed, if you enjoy beautiful people doing longing glances, you'll love Trouble Every Day. This
movie has what, in my mind, feels like the most stereotypically like French art film sequence ever made, in which Vincent Gallo and the actress who is playing his wife, who is Trisha Vesey, they decided to be touristy like midway through the movie, and they go to, is it Notre Dame?
Yes.
Yeah, they go to Notre Dame, and like there's a sequence where they're like up on like a ledge kind of, and we're just getting like head on kind of portraits of them staring at each other.
Yeah.
And he's like playfully trying to be a monster to like get her to smile at him and make out with him. And then she tosses her scarf, her green scarf, off into the wind. And it floats over the city of Paris. And that entire sequence is like, this could be a Truffaut film.
I know.
This could be a student film.
I thought
this
that
could be
like,
anything in France.
This is so cliche, but I also love it. This movie reminded me a lot of a much better film that I know that you love as much as I do, perhaps more. It reminded me a lot of Daughters of Darkness, just because of the honeymoon hotel angle of it, and like a beautiful city that feels sad and lonely anyway, because this couple wasn't meant to be together. Yeah, I kept thinking of Daughters of Darkness, and I go in a way that I was like, I kind of wish I was watching Daughters of Darkness instead.
I agree. The one that reminded me of more was Paul Schrader's Comfort of Strangers.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
With Our Cemetery Man, and Christopher Walken, which is also a couple abroad in Venice, trying to rekindle their relationship a little bit. So very Don't Look Now. Yeah. And they come in contact with another couple that leads them to really fucked up bad things. Which is, again, much like Trouble Every Day, it's a lot of just like hot people laying in bed and having sex and looking at each other and walking around the city and laying in bed and having sex and having open conversations.
It's very French New Wave in that regard. She does film bodies really beautifully, both male and female bodies. I haven't seen Beau Travail, but I'm told that it is just exclusively beautiful men's bodies. This movie has a lot of, separate from the sex, bodies are filmed really beautifully. There's a gorgeous scene when the woman is in the bathtub. And I love in a movie or a photograph when someone's in like soapy water that's like almost like milky, So she's in the bath luxuriating and Vincent Gallo is standing above her, just like sort of regarding her body. And you get full bush. You get her, she has beautiful breasts. And it's just like it's filmed beautifully. You kind of get the sense that he wants to eat her or something, but so it has like a menacing quality as well, but it's filmed really beautifully.
I didn't get that from it. I don't like the way this movie filmed its bodies.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Claire Denis has a detachment from her subject that I don't care for.
Well, you said earlier that you have a hard time connecting to her films, and I've only seen this film, but I was like, I don't know that this movie like wants you to connect to it or cares if you connect to it. It doesn't seem to be interested. It feels so distanced.
It's part of the same reason why it's very similar, cinematic language to like Michelangelo Antonioni or even Stanley Kubrick. And their kind of treatment of sex and bodies, and their severe detachment from the characters, which has made me dislike Kubrick more with time, but has made me like Antonioni more with time. And so I don't fucking know.
Well, coming off the heels of Crash, though, it kind of reminded me of Crash. And so I had to ask myself, like, why do I like Crash way more than this?
See, Crash is intensely erotic. From my perspective.
I agree.
And I, parrot a comment that Chelsea made when discussing Crash and her aftermath of discussing Crash. I completely sympathize with that.
Yeah.
Trouble Every Day makes me want to take a fucking shower. And like jump out of my skin. And Trouble Every Day makes me want to be asexual.
Well, let's get into, that's a perfect doorway into the sort of vampirism, sex of it all. So vampires in this movie are not like the vampires we know and love.
The word is never used.
It's never used, but
it's applied a bit more like cannibalism.
No, but not really. Because they're not eating them and they're not even. So the way that vampirism, I read it anyway, was that the first time you see it, it's, what's the actress?
Beatrice Dahl.
Beatrice Dahl has a sex scene with like a teenage intruder, and she's fucking him, and then as they're fucking, she starts to choke him, slap him, bite him, and draws blood, and basically, for lack of a better terminology, she like kind of fucks him to death, and then is like wallowing in his blood. So she's not like drinking the blood, she's just causing it during sex in a sexual context, and then she's just like wallowing in it. And that's the way that we see vampirism, for lack of a better terminology, in this movie.
I will say the single most like I thought beautifully shot bodies in this entire film, and the single most like erotic thing in this entire film was that scene.
Yeah, before the violence started, you're getting like close-ups of his nipple and his
I mean the
armpit
opposite.
hair. I know that you did, but
I mean the scene where she's like coddling his body as he's dying, and she's like just rubbing the blood all over, and she just looks so euphoric. She looks so pleased, and she looks so tortured this whole film. Yeah. I couldn't help but feel like, good, honey, please, oh God, kill as many men as you want. Bathe in their blood. Good for you, Elizabeth Bathory. Be a queen. I love you so much.
I'm still struggling with why I like Crash and not this movie. And part of it, I think, is that Claire Denis seems to be commenting on a violent instinct that is attached to having sex. And I don't think that that's a particularly new insight or an especially interesting one without going a step further. And I don't think that she really does that. Like, it's been commented on for ages that there's a violent instinct that can be attached to, or like a destructive force that can be attached to sex. And I don't think that that's particularly interesting in and of itself.
I think in comparison to Crash, the reason why I enjoy Crash more than this is because they do both discuss, aberrant sexual behavior, to use a very like right-wing clinical term.
Yeah.
And and violence in combination with sex. But Crash's use of violence is much more consensual, A, and B, it's more violence against the self rather than violence against someone else.
That's a very good point.
Like, Trouble Every Day is a top, Crash is a bottom.
Yeah. That's a great framework for discussing these two movies, or anything. Because
Crash is all about and Crash is also like a community. Crash is about like an underground kink community where all of these people share in the same thing and want to experience it together. Yeah. Trouble Every Day is about two people who have this one thing about them, that they are vilified by themselves or by their partner, and it then like leads to really horrifying results.
Yeah. So to get back to the plot to dovetail off what Drusilla was just saying, what eventually happens is that you come to learn that Vincent Gallo's character is looking for Beatrice's character because he and the other scientist who's Beatrice's guardian, at some point in the past, in some way that is not super clear, kind of may have accidentally turned her into this vampiric thing with their scientific pharmaceutical experiments. And that's why he's looking for her. And also you understand the reason he's not well is that he is suffering from the same affliction. And that's why he's taking all these pills, and he's struggling on his honeymoon because he doesn't want to hurt his new wife, and that sort of thing. So those are roughly all the beats of the movie that are important to like describing a plot. He has been sort of stalking this beautiful young maid at the fancy hotel where he's staying. He eventually sexually assaults her and does this sort of violent sex thing to her, killing her, and then goes up to the room with his wife. And that's the movie. I mean,
you mix in a puppy into the middle of that.
Oh, yeah. God, we had the puppy. God, oh, God, oh, God. Okay, so does the dog die.com? No, the dog does not die. But you really are worried for that puppy because
the entire time. Because a really horrible thing happens, causing a lot of blood and death, and then the very next shot is like a bunch of puppies, and you're like, what?
Nope,
and then it's Vincent Gallo's like looking down at a puppy, and you're like, no, fuck you, you better fucking not. And then there's a scene with him on the subway where where like the shot leads you into him by showing an older woman, and then it kind of goes past her to Vincent Gallo, and in between them is the puppy that he's like holding to his chest, but he's like grinding himself into this old woman that like this puppy is clearly like being smushed between this woman and Vincent Gallo as he's like trying to sexually get off while he's looking at this other woman. And it's just like, one of the most upsetting
Awful.
things I've ever seen.
And listener, this puppy is so cute. It's like one of those King Chevalier, like, I don't know what they're called, but it's the same puppy that Charlotte York gets in Sex and the City that she names Elizabeth Taylor. It's that kind of dog, like very, you know, like Lady and the Tramp, whatever Lady is.
It's like the size of my palm. It's so small.
So cute.
But
it does not die. So
no, it does not die. But we have to talk about really quickly the two scariest moments in this movie from my perspective. Mm-hmm. The first of which, as in the second most scary, is that there is just very suddenly a scene where they are like dissecting brains.
Yes.
And like pulling things that are like, I don't know if it's like calcium or a worm or a plant or some shit off of. Oh, I nearly barfed. It's like bisected gray dead brains.
Yeah.
And like a lot of this movie deals with the doctors and the scientists in this movie are dealing with brain chemistry somehow.
Yeah.
It's never made explicit in any way. Nothing in this movie is ever made explicit.
No.
And it's just fucking gross. And they stay on that shot way too long. And they're like picking at the brain. And just thinking about it makes me just want to like jump out of my skin.
That didn't bother me. All the science stuff feels like a Kids in the Hall sketch to me. And it feels like not real scientists. It's like whatever that movie.
A Kids in the Hall sketch has better acting.
Yeah, I mean.
You mean Brain Candy?
Anytime Denise Richards plays a scientist or something, like that's the way that this felt to me. But go on.
When Denise Richards played a nuclear scientist in a James Bond movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I love her. But the scariest thing is that the opening credits of this movie are in Comic Sans.
Oh my
Josh
God,
warned
I
me
can't
about
believe we didn't talk about that. That should have been the first thing that we talked about.
Yeah.
As I watched this before Drusilla did, and the opening credits are in Comic Sans, and I was like, oh no, Drusilla is going to be...
immediately.
Drusilla is going to hate this.
Yeah, trigger warning, Comic Sans. It's not like a little bit. It's just Comic Sans.
It's a wild choice.
It's a wild choice. It's a very 2000 choice.
Yes. Did she just not know? I mean, I guess we weren't talking about fonts, and specifically that font in those terms. It wasn't verboten yet, but it's not in good taste even still.
No, especially considering what this movie is.
Yeah.
I can see how, like, it's a free font. This movie's clearly made early digital, edited early digital as well. So it makes sense that they would just pick, like, a font and lay it in, and there's your
Times New Roman.
Helvetica.
Yeah, pick a sans serif of some sort. You don't
please, for the love of God, a sans serif. Yeah, or even like there's classy serifs, or like, you know, slab serifs. Don't use fucking oh my God.
Shit,
even though I will say
been better.
I will say I just used Comic Sans on a poster very recently. But it was appropriate.
Yeah, it could be done like with a wink. I think it could really work.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the opening of this movie, so it lets you know what kind of hell you're in for. I didn't hate this movie. I didn't loathe this movie, but I did not enjoy this movie, and I have no intentions on watching this movie ever again.
Yeah.
I think I prefer Audition.
Oh boy, okay.
By a wide margin.
Audition's a much better movie, I think, objectively.
Audition is a much better movie. Like, objectively, like from a filmmaking, which I even acknowledge when we're talking about it, from a filmmaking standpoint, Audition is like, you know, a near masterpiece. Like, the kind of like surreal unwinding of the final like 40 minutes is amazing.
Yeah.
Trouble Every Day never gets anywhere close to that level of filmmaking.
No.
Trouble Every Day kind of feels like a student film. There is a scene where a body is immolated, and the digital fire effect is so
it's like
bad.
Birdemic shock and terror levels of that.
I mean, I thought David Cronenberg's Maps to the Stars had a really bad self-immolation scene. I was wrong. I had never seen this yet. And it's such a shame too, because when that entire scene happens, I was just like, well, the rest of this movie is gonna suck after this, and then that happened, and I was like, I was right.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that I 3 stars liked it. That's it. I would never watch it again. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. It's fine. We chose this because neither of us had seen it, and it's been pretty obscure until now, and it's now on Shudder, so people are able to see it really for the first time.
I think it had a pretty wide re-release about 10 years ago in a Blu-ray and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, you're right.
So it's, it's had its resurgence, and Claire Denis has had a very big resurgence. Beau Travail getting inducted into the Criterion Collection, doing multiple films with A24. She's like having a nice little moment.
She worked on Wings of Desire. Did you know that?
Well, yeah, we probably should have mentioned that she came up working with Wim Wenders on Wings of Desire and Paris, Texas. And then on Paris, Texas, she stayed in America and started working with Jim Jarmusch on Down by Law.
Yeah.
And other stuff. And it's just like, that pedigree is amazing. And I kept having to remind myself of that while watching this, of like, if she's slow, it's because she's slow like those, and I like those. And I just kept being like, nope, I don't like this.
I always get her mixed up with the woman who made, I think it's a woman, correct me if I'm wrong, who made Fat Girl.
Oh, Catherine Brion.
Yeah, I combine them in my head.
Very different. Catherine Brion has been around making films since the 70s.
Yeah. Okay.
Catherine Brion co-wrote Bilitis, which is like a 70s French softcore directed by very controversial David Hamilton, rapist David Hamilton. And yeah, she has a very controversial run of filmmaking, but Fat Girl is great.
Love that movie.
The early 2000s really had some very female filmmakers pushing boundaries between like Trouble Every Day, Almost Sir, which is Fat Girl, and Baisse-moi, or Fuck Me, Rape Me.
It.
It was and then that kind of led into the French extremism. It was a wild time, the late 90s, early 2000s for female directors in France. Woohoo!
Well, Drusilla, it's time to move on to our favorite game, Have They Seen It? The game where we speculate wildly about whether notable figures have seen the feature. You have anyone in mind?
I have one in mind that I just have to ask because of the cast of this movie.
Okay.
It's going to be probably really obvious and self-evident, but I just kind of want to ask it anyway because I just want to talk about this person. One of my favorite human beings and one of the most inspiring human beings in the world to me is the lead singer of The Distillers, Brody Dahl. Who took both parts of her stage name, or not her name, but it's just legally her name now.
Yeah.
And obviously she took the last part of her name from Beatrice Dahl, who is self-proclaimed her favorite actress because she grew up seeing stuff like Betty Blue, Ned and Earth. This movie came out in 2001. This would have been around the time that she moved from Australia? New Zealand?
I'm not sure. I don't know the Distillers that well.
Shit, I should know.
Kiwis are very sensitive about this.
I know, which is why. Hold on, we can cut this. I want to be correct about this. No, fuck you. I need her to love me. I need to be right. Melbourne, Australia. So this movie came out in 2001, so it would have been around the time that she moved from Melbourne to Los Angeles, having just married Tim Armstrong, the singer from Rancid, and then put out the first Distillers album, I think in 2001, the self-titled album, which was made for Hellcat Records here in LA. Anyway, so this movie would have come out around the time, shortly thereafter she had started using, only a few years after using the stage name Birdie Doll. And an extreme horror movie starring her. I think it's possible she saw it.
I think I'm going to say yes, but is Doll D-A-H-L?
No, it's the exact same spelling. D-A-L-L-E.
Okay, then yes, because I was going to say like a more basic person, even though I love this person, I don't think they're basic at all. Someone could have named themselves after Roald Dahl as well, but it's spelled differently. So I'm going to say yes.
Interviewers always call her Brody Dale, and it's like, no, it's Dahl.
It's Dahl.
Beatrice Dahl. Get it right.
Yeah. Although it could be based on Betty Blue too.
I mean, Betty Blue is one of the greatest films ever made.
Yeah.
Also about a very fucked up relationship.
Yeah. But if she loves the actress this much, I would say yes, she's seen it.
Yeah. But does she like it?
No.
I can see her enjoying it, but yeah, it's possible.
I don't know. I feel like this movie's been reappraised a bit or is very divisive in some way.
Do you think it's been reappraised positively or negatively?
I saw a lot of positive reviews from about 10 years ago when it got its re-release. Like 2015-ish era. I feel like people were writing positive things about it. Yeah. I have somebody. This is somebody I just watched an SNL sketch where Cecily Strong played them on Weekend Update in regards to this person's controversial take recently on feminism and Me Too.
God.
Do you think Catherine Deneuve has seen this movie?
Oh, Christ.
Legendary anti-film feminist. Not really. Catherine Deneuve. French women have a very complicated relationship to feminism.
They do, and it's a shame because there are. Yeah, I know the exact SNL sketch you're talking about.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so good. It's so funny, and it's such a shame because I love Catherine Deneuve. I love all her Jacques Demy. Yeah. Her. Oh God. Yeah. Oh Christ. It's just. It's very unfortunate. Yeah. It's weird because I feel like Catherine Deneuve absolutely saw this at like Cannes or a festival because she's always at them. And at this time she was making like, Wheat Femme, and she was making like, she was still going strong in 2001. And I mean, she's still doing stuff.
Yeah.
She like just did an Olivier Assayas movie. Like,
yeah.
So I feel like, because this movie was pretty celebrated in France around the time it came out, I feel like she's definitely seen Beau Travail. And so I feel like she enjoyed Beau Travail because of all the hunky men in it. That she then saw Trouble Every Day. And honestly, I believe that Catherine Deneuve loves Trouble Every Day. I think she finds it intensely relatable, and I think she finds it intensely erotic.
I think that's probably true, but I also think there's a little part of her silently who would be like, the hunger was better. Or whatever.
Oh, you know what? I can absolutely.
Which is true.
This does really feel like an early 2000s art house take on the hunger.
Yeah.
In terms of like the medical vampires and bloody sex. Yeah, I can definitely see her. I can also see her being friends with Beatrice Dahl and being like, you tried, honey, you tried.
Congratulations. Which is the thing you say when you hate somebody's movie. Congratulations.
Visceral. I feel like she likes this movie for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But I love Catherine Deneuve, and I hate not liking her.
Of course, we love her.
Belle de jour, how can I not?
I mean, yeah, Jacques Demy movies, she's the best.
It's a shame.
You got anyone else?
Okay. All right. Because this person would eventually cast Vincent Gallo in one of his movies, and because this man made what I personally think is one of the best vampire movies ever made.
Okay.
I have to ask, do you think Francis Ford Coppola saw Trouble Every Day?
Oh, it's so funny that you should mention. I watched Bram Stoker's Dracula last night in bed. Movie I love.
One of my favorite films ever made. Oh, truly, yeah.
Love that movie. Love it.
The definition of a comfort movie. Richard E. Grant doing Getting High with Tom Waits.
Yeah.
The best.
I have a spicy take on that movie, which is very quickly that the sort of inappropriate casting and stilted performances of Winona and Keanu are charming and clever because they make the movie feel more like a classic Hollywood star system film. Mm-hmm. That's my take on Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Really quickly about that. Winona wasn't cast. Winona made the movie, basically.
Right, because she dropped out of Godfather 3, I heard, right? And it's like, sorry, let's do Dracula.
Yeah, and Dracula was like a gift to her because he was like, I want to make anything with you. And she was like, I just read Dracula.
Let's do that. Yeah. Thank God for her. She's one of my favorite. I love Winona Ryder, so that's not a dig on her.
And she had final say on the casting of the movie, so she just cast it with dudes she wanted to work with, which is why it's just filled with like hot men. So it's like Keanu Reeves and Richard E. Grant and Tom Waits and Gary Oldman and Carrie Elways and Anthony
Good for
Hopkins.
you, Winona.
Good for you, honey.
Francis Ford Coppola, I would say yes, he's seen this. I feel like he feels shrug emoji about it. Is my take. I don't know why I feel that. I feel like he sees kind of everything. And
yeah,
I don't know. He's kind of a sex nerd.
He is kind of a sex nerd, and he also, we kind of forgotten about this, but he kind of also has some pretty piss poor takes on sexuality. And,
does he? I mean, I know that he hated Crash from our episode on Crash.
Yeah, he hated Crash, and he's also good friends with known rapist and pedophile, the guy who made
Vincent, are you talking about Jeepers Creepers guy?
Jeepers Creepers, yeah. He, like, after that guy got out of jail, Francis Ford Coppola produced and put up the money to make Jeepers Creepers 3.
Oh boy.
And we don't talk about that enough.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, not great. I don't know anything about Francis Ford Coppola, and I would love to keep it that way.
Agreed.
But I'm going to counter your problematic director with an even more problematic director.
Woo!
And I want to know, has Roman Polanski seen Trouble Every Day?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think he loves it for all the wrong reasons? Like Catherine Deneuve is like, finally, someone gets it. This is the chick who gets it.
I like that Claire. She gets it. I feel like he definitely saw it. He absolutely saw it. He's probably seen it more than once, but I think he doesn't enjoy the filmmaking.
It is
I feel like he likes the vampires and he likes Beatrice Dahl and he likes the sex. But I feel like it's not stylish enough for him.
Yeah, I think he would find it kind of ugly now that you mention it.
But also, like, Polanski, this is a very weird thing to say. However, this is true. From the 90s and on, Polanski has made multiple anti-rape movies.
Oh.
Which is very odd. Like Death in the Maiden with Sigourney Weaver is about a woman confronting and torturing the man that she believes might be her rapist. Like, I don't know. The man himself sucks. But I don't know if he would find Trouble Every Day incredibly uncomfortable. I'm imagining Roman Polanski watching Trouble Every Day like Malcolm McDowell in A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, with like the things opening his eye.
Where he is like, this is stuff I used to like. Why do I feel ill? Why do I hate this? Why do I feel sick? I imagine that was Roman Polanski's viewing experience of Trouble Every Day, where he like was like, I love this, and then afterwards threw up.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I can see that. I honestly, for the good of humanity, I hope it was something like that.
Yeah. Well, listener, that's it for this episode of Bloodhouse. In a few short hours, Drusilla and I are going to a theater in person to watch our movie for next week, which is Drusilla.
A24 presenting Alex Garland's Men.
Ooh la la. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this, please rate it on Apple and all the things. You can follow Bloodhouse on all the socials or email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. Drusilla, where can people find you these days?
Not on Twitter, that's for sure, but you can find me on Instagram at Hyde Sister, which is the inverse of Sister Hyde, and you can find my art over at sisterhydedesign.com. Get in touch with me there if you would like. And you can also find me on Letterboxd.
And you can find me at Joshua Conkle on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And bonsoir. Merci pour listening. Woo.